Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we have a guest here, Jack Davis. We're going to be diving into the world of real estate contracting that he's doing. He's actually a general contractor. So we're going to be discussing everything from budgeting, timelines, avoiding costly mistakes, and just maximizing your property value. So if you ever wonder what it takes to manage a successful construction projects or just how to work effectively with your contractor, this episode is definitely for you. So without further ado, Jack, my friend, welcome to the show.
Thanks
How
for
about you
having
just
me.
introduce to the audience who you are, your background, and what you're working on right now?
So I'm a general contractor here. I service both San Diego and LA County. I have been in the industry since I was 14 years old, which is longer than I'd like to admit. And mostly I focus on ADUs, new construction homes. New construction's not going on a ton here in San Diego and LA because of the lack of real estate, blank real estate. But I get a couple of custom homes here and there. I love doing backyards. I love outdoor living, pools, retaining walls, that kind of stuff. So I kind of I do almost anything as long as it's profitable, I guess.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, cool. How about we talk about maybe just some common mistakes that maybe investors are doing right now or homeowners, right, that are making when hiring a contractor?
Yeah. So mostly the homeowners, the biggest mistake they make is a lot of them will price shop. And I obviously budget is a concern, but if you're just strictly price shopping, you're going to end up running into trouble. Now, if you enjoy fighting and going to court and that kind of stuff, then yes, that's fine. You might get lucky. Who knows? But in general, if you're doing, let's say, an ADU or a kitchen or something's going to take a couple of months, you and I are
Mhm.
going to be hanging out for 3 to 6 months minimum. If
Uh-huh.
you don't like me, that's a problem. And I'm not for everybody,
Yeah.
So in that regard, certainly make sure that obviously reputation's important, money's important too, but make sure that you're getting with somebody that you connect with and that you feel like you can work with over the next 3 to 6 months because we're going to be hanging out.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And then for investors, investors are looking just for the almighty dollar. Some of them are smart enough to get quality, but usually they're it's going to be dollars and cents, which is why I typically don't work a lot with investors, because I like the personal touch. I enjoy what I do, and I'm into my craft.
Mhm.
And when it just comes down to a business transaction, that's just I don't like how that feels in business. I like to help people out and kind of make, I guess, dreams come true, for lack of a better word.
Right, absolutely. That's the best way to be, right? Awesome. Well, let's transition, maybe talking about budgeting and costs, right? That's always a big thing. That's very
Yeah.
important. So maybe let's say how, can your clients specifically, how do you get them to avoid, cost overruns, stay within budget, just on their projects that you're doing?
Yeah, and that's a tough one sometimes.
Hmm.
If you have an honest contractor, he's going to be straightforward with you and just let you know, hey, this is what I see. Um, I
Hmm.
tell my customers to always plan for a 10% contingency. So I'm going to give you a price for an ADU. Let's say it's $100,000, just for using arbitrary numbers.
Yeah.
You're then going to, we're going to dig into it. And if we're breaking into the existing home, a lot of times we're going to come across surprises that I don't see what's inside the wall. We could be eating half with termites. There could be, you could have cast iron pipes that we can't work with, so we need to repipe your house. There's little things like that that can come up, and not be so little sometimes. If we have to replumb your home, the cast iron
Mm.
piping, like that could be 20 or 30 grand.
Wow.
So it's just knowing ahead of time. And if you have somebody like me, my job is just to educate the customer, and then I let them make the decision, because I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm here to help. I follow a business plan, and I make 10%. But I would always add in, that's not in the contract. Always make sure there's at least a 10% contingency.
Mm.
And most contractors who are above board are going to tell you that. The other hard part is, a lot of contractors are going to lowball you to get in. And I can't tell you, I literally have probably 3 to 5 calls a month where I didn't get the project for whatever reason. They call me up and they say, hey, you said I could call you if I get into trouble. And they've given them 90% of their money, and they're not even half done. And so it's like,
Mm.
well, that's a tough one. You do have recourse, but now you have to go a legal route sometimes in order to get them to do what they need to do.
Oof.
And a lot of times too, they don't have, they get the project done. They don't know that it was done improperly. They've paid in full, and then they have a bunch of problems. I had one guy did like a basement style, and the contractor quoted him $150 a square foot, which is literally half. Like that's going to be my material cost almost. $150 a square foot. And of course, the next season when it rained, the whole downstairs flooded and he had to redo it. He spent another $150,000, which is what he spent on the build, just to fix it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So if it's too good to be true, it usually is. The general rule of thumb right now is about $300 to $400 a square foot for a granny flat. That doesn't include tearing into walls or modifying the existing structure. That's just to build it. Doesn't include permits, doesn't include engineering, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't include architectural drawings. So you just want to make sure that three estimates is like the cliche.
Hmm.
I would say that's pretty close. I would just do two. I would weed them out based off of who I feel comfortable with when I spoke with them on the phone, how professional they were,
Hmm.
and then I would get two, maybe three people out there, and then educate yourself. We're in the world of Google. You can go on Google anytime and just do some Google magic and put a couple of guesses in. And then keep in mind too, sometimes their numbers are a little skewed because we're in a microclimate in San Diego and LA where things are super expensive. If you do the same project in, let's say, Arizona, it's going to be half the price just because of our economy out here.
Wow. Wow. Man, that is some valuable information right there. Let's talk about maybe permits and regulations, right? I mean, what should people know maybe about today's permits? There's the building codes. I mean, there's local regulations. There's all types of stuff that comes to that. So why don't you speak on that?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors. and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So the permit process is cumbersome and it's its own animal.
Mhm.
The best way I can describe it is you wouldn't have a cardiovascular doctor do brain surgery or even work on your knee
Yeah.
because they don't know. And so even though I'm a general contractor and I know a lot of the code, uh, I always recommend going through a company that does that, and or
Okay.
a very specific company that focuses just on that. Most of the time, you're going to have a contractor. When you meet a contractor,
Mhm.
you want to use whoever they have. And the reason why is because uh, that relationship between the architect and the contractor is super important because there's a lot of times I rely on them for information. And
Mhm.
so if I need information and they take 2 or 3 weeks to get back to me for some crucial information and the project is on hold, now the project is on hold for 2 or 3 weeks or a month or whatever. And
Right.
so typically for me at least, I won't even get involved with a project unless my guys do all the plans and permitting and that kind of stuff, because I know that if I call it Sunday at midnight, they're going to be
Yep.
there and pick up their phone. And just like the relationship between you and me is really important, or between the customer and I is super important, that
Mhm.
relationship between that is super important too because of that fact. And if you want to be a happy customer, you want to make sure that I have that relationship so I can really have control over the project. That really helps out. And I'll tell you this one little last thing: if for whatever reason they don't have a relationship with an architectural firm, that is not the company you want to do business with. Because if it's like a doctor not knowing a nurse, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Right. That doesn't add up, right?
No,
Absolutely
no,
not. No. So you definitely have to make sure you're looking out for that one. Absolutely. Let's talk about maybe just some key clauses, right, that should be included in a contract to protect, both you and the client.
So I am very simple with how I write up my contracts.
Mhm.
One of the things I it's a one of the secrets that a lot of people who don't know, unless you've gone through the contractors licensing process,
Mhm.
is that one of the first things they teach you is you do not want to go to court. Going to court is very detrimental to a business. And so the smart contractors avoid
Mhm.
that at all costs. And so I've had situations where I've had to literally replace an entire floor just because the customer didn't like the color.
Oof.
It cost me like $15,000 to $20,000. But just because I'm right doesn't mean that that $15,000 wasn't well spent, because I might win in court, but it's going to take so much of my time in order to get involved with something like that. It's just not worth it. And so I try
Right.
to do my best to apply logic. I'm also very fortunate because I've come to a time in my career where I get to pick and choose my customers just as much as they choose me.
Mhm.
Because of that, I have enough experience to try to avoid people where I don't think it's going to be a good fit. In particularly people that just want discounts right up front, or they want the
Yep.
best price, or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not going to overcharge you. I follow a business plan. There's a lot of people that
Absolutely.
will overcharge you, but for me personally, I do straightforward business. So,
I love that. That's the best way to be, right?
well,
Let's
yeah.
I'm curious, man. What was one of maybe your toughest projects you've ever worked on, and how did you handle it?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So what makes projects tough are customers.
Yeah.
Whenever the customer's not there, projects are as easy as it gets, and
Mhm.
I'll give you a couple of what not examples.
Mhm.
One of the examples is I used to flip homes when in 2008 when everything crashed. And so those projects went really smooth. I can show up anytime I want. If my guys were late or early, it didn't matter. And so it makes it very easy and things go very quickly. And so I
Mhm.
can get a construction project like then done very quickly. I've also done a home where it was just a single fire on a home where only half of it burnt down.
Mhm.
And so that's a very unique, and it requires a person with the right skills to be able to do that. And I like to always reference, I always like to reference doctors because most people understand doctors.
Yep.
Um, you could have an ER doctor that can do amputation, no problem. And that is like building a new home. If we tore it down and started over, no problem. Any real contractor can do that as long as they have home building experience.
Mhm.
But you require, if you want to do orthoscopic surgery or open heart surgery, if half the house is burnt down, we're dealing with the existing structure. It's way more technical, and there's a lot more pitfalls and a lot more things that you have to do in order to be able to achieve that. So that particular project, that half burned down one, the gentleman there was very difficult. And I'm sorry I took on the project because of who he was, but I was able to get it done, and we were able to get him back in a timely manner. But that's the most challenging. Those are the fun ones, and I was able to make it very nice and meet his expectations. At the end, he was able to calm down, but he was also got to take consideration when half your house burns down. Man, it's a stressful time. And again, that's where that relationship comes into effect. If you and I don't get along well, so
Right.
so the customers are the most challenging part. Fortunately for me, I'm really good at that, and I know how to I guess lubricate the process to make sure it's as easy as possible.
Mhm.
My job as a contractor is to take the stress off of you, and I take that on. That's what you're paying me for. Because if you didn't use me and you were to go and shop every subcontractor and all that kind of stuff, you
Yep.
can do it for cheaper, maybe 15-20%
Yep.
cheaper. Which in a $1 million project, that's a lot of money. But
Mhm.
what stress, what anxiety, what is that going to put on your plate to take you away from your day-to-day work and what you do to make money?
On top of the
So
quality as well, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's like, what are you looking for as far as premium, or are you looking for
exactly.
average quality, right? So there's a big difference.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
and the hard part is my apologies.
No, go ahead, Jack. You're fine. Go ahead.
Oh, the hard part is too is when you shop for a subcontractor, let's say
Mhm.
you were to general the whole thing yourself to save the money, right?
Yep.
You would go and shop for a subcontractor, and that subcontractor is a one-time customer to you.
Mm.
My subs that I use, some of them, I put 80 to 90% of the food on their table, and I've been working with them for 10 plus years. So, like I said, if it's Sunday at midnight, they're going to be like, "Yes, sir. What can I do?" You know what I mean? So those are some
Yeah.
of the things that are really important. Just like with the relationship with the architect, the relationship with
Mhm.
my subs is super important because that gives me a lot of leverage with making sure the project runs smoothly. If I need to crack the whip, if it's just a one-time customer, to me, he doesn't
Mhm.
care. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you ain't gonna use me again anyway." So
Yep.
if I
Yep.
if I wait 2 weeks, so what? Who cares? So
Yeah, that's awesome. I was going to ask you about how your subs work, so that answered my question. So I'll ask you another one. So let's say, how are you managing multiple, projects at once? You got a lot, you got multiple houses, projects going on. What is your strategy? What is your process for prioritizing those?
yeah. So my main purpose in my business is to get more business so that I can put food on the table and then just put out fires if there's any
Hmm.
issues or stuff like that. I usually try to do my rounds on a weekly basis to projects I have going on. And there are some customers that are demand to have me on the project on a regular basis or every day or something like that. And
Hmm.
I'm usually honest with them. I ain't going to be there because that's not how my business works. And so one of the concerns that always pops up with those type of customers is how do you know they're doing a good job? Well, a couple of things. Number
Hmm.
one, I'm not using people off of Craigslist that I've never met before coming to do your project. So I
That's
have
right.
relations with these people. Number two, I've burned through a ton of subs over the last 20 years, and I'll go through more now. So you're not doing business with any of them. You're only doing business with me. And then lastly, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about
Managing multiple projects. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So lastly, if I have to babysit my subs, I can't work with them. So when I first bring a sub on, I'm going to vet him. I'm going to put him on a really small project. I'm going to see how he is. I'm going to see some of his other. I'm going to research him, see what his license, make sure his license is good and all that kind of stuff. See some of his projects. Look at his reputation elsewhere if he has one. A lot of times the subs they just focus on the work and have relationships with generals. They don't really advertise or anything, which is fine. But I'll put them on a small project, maybe a bathroom or a kitchen, and just see how they do. And then from there, if they're good, then they'll graduate to some of the bigger things, So that's how I manage the quality control. And if they do a bad job and I need to bring in my trusted guys, then that's just what I'm going to do. And I'll redo your kitchen if I have to. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We have to focus on making sure we have quality, or making sure that the end quality is good.
Absolutely. No, I love that process that you have, as far as just giving them a test trial almost, right? You're vetting them out, because what I'm seeing is a huge problem and you already know this. I mean, a lot of them just throw subs in just to fill the slot, right?
Yeah.
Just to fill in the seat. And I just think that's a terrible thing to do, because you're taking a huge risk by doing that. And that can really, really hurt your business. Whether there's, general contractors listening to this, you got to do the right thing. You definitely got to make sure you're vetting your subs out,
Yeah. And it's also my job to make sure that I'm not taking on too much work and giving a realistic expectation to the customer of when I can start. Yep. A lot of guys will promise stuff and then just push them out, be thinking they're going to be okay. It's not a big deal, because they knew they couldn't have started it at that time anyways, but they didn't want to lose the business, I'll pass on business all day long. I have plenty of business. I can always want more. There's no, it's always great to have, be busy, but I'm super open and honest with my customers, and I just let them know this is where I'm at.
Yep.
This is how the project will go. We can push it out. We can start later and I'll dedicate a whole team to you, or we can start it now, but there's going to be gaps in between guys that are going to be there. Open communication is important. And as a customer, you have that sixth sense inside where you have that trust or not that trust, or is somebody being honest with you. If you get an uneasy feeling, trust that.
Yeah.
Most people know, I can tell you seem like a straightforward guy. You didn't lie to me. You know what I mean? Like we've had some dialogue. Yep. You seem like an honest person, and I just get that from you. If you're not getting that from your contractor, then that's, trust that.
Absolutely. Your intuition does not lie, right? And as soon as your gut tells you something, it's important to listen to it. That's
and even if it's wrong, who cares? Just you didn't do business with him. Oh well.
Exactly. You move on, right? Life's way too short. Well, Jack, man, I wish we honestly had a lot more time, my friend. I feel like we could go on for an hour on the subject, but anything you want to tell the audience and just how they can find your company, right? How can they work with you? Where do they need to reach out to?
Yeah, so I'm on Yelp, Google, Facebook. Powerhouse Green Construction is the name of my company. If you Google that, I'm out of La Mesa, I focus on ADUs and that kind of stuff. I don't do really small projects, but if it's profitable and it's something in my wheelhouse, I'll come out and do it. So but just to do your homework, I guess, is the big thing I would leave you with. Make sure to do your homework, vet these people well, and trust your sense, and you'll be all right.
Absolutely. Jack, it's a pleasure having you on, my friend. Guys, if you're listening to this, definitely be sure to reach out to Jack. We will also list all of where to find him inside of our description on our YouTube as well. But Jack, thank you for coming on, my friend.
See you guys later. Thank you.
All right, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the episode. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.